sometimes even the past year, I seriously thought I was going to die, and facing that at my age was very inhumane. And at some points, I almost had to lose hope in order to really find it. Even in and after death, there is hope. I'm going all the way here, man. I think there's hope all the way. I guess the lesson for me has been to learn to see hope always, and to learn not to fear anything. Fear puts me back. Back in the 90s, when I lived abroad, including California, I learned that I will never succeed without persistence. I have now realized that it takes a stupendous amount of this to succeed. My name is Mattias, the founder of Refurn, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hello?
Hey man, what's up?
Not much, just hanging out at work.
So what time is it?
What about you? Look, it's 4 p.m. Swedish time.
Okay, cool. At work, so do they care if you're like talking to not work people?
No, it's no worries.
Okay.
No worries.
Great, man. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
So you just said cancer. I honestly didn't know that.
No, I didn't write it anywhere. You're the first person that knows about it.
Well, we won't mention that at all. So
that's okay. I'm open with it.
Are you okay?
I was just admitted from the hospital about 3 weeks, a little over a month ago, after a stem cell transplant.
No way. So what do you have then?
Mantle cell lymphoma.
Lymphoma, yeah.
It's
Yikes.
But yeah, the treatment is finished, so I hope I'm allowed to recover now.
I had a friend and a past boss who had that, and man, the treatment sounded painful as anything.
Yeah, nightmare, pretty much.
Wow, and you're like
really
you're awake for the deal, right? I mean, do they drill into your bone? Do you have to be awake for that, or?
Yeah, but they gave me a lot of medicines to kind of not be in too much pain and not too much anxiety, because it was really tough.
Yeah, I bet. So how are you feeling now? Like, are you worn out today, or is this like are you feeling okay?
I'm okay. I feel much better than the doctor says that I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to be like sick for at least 4 or 5 months, but I'm at work. I'm working almost full time already.
Wow, that's great. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks really. Where are you at? I don't know too much.
Yeah, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. It's kind of central U.S. I don't know if you've been to the U.S. before.
I traveled across it twice.
Oh, really? So Tennessee is kind of smack in the middle, maybe towards the lower southeast, if you're going to put it in one quadrant. But
I've been there. Is it close to Elvis' house?
I am probably 15 minutes from Elvis's house right now.
Wow, wonderful. I've been there.
That's great. Oh man, when was that?
Oh, that must have been like 15 years ago, when I traveled across the states twice in my old Cadillac 65 Coupe de Ville.
That's so cool. That's awesome. So do you just show up in the U.S., buy a Cadillac, and then take the tour and then go back home? Is that what you did?
I went there. I was working as a musician at a time, and started off in San Diego, and that's where I decided to stay for a while. And me and a friend just bought an old Cadillac. It was 30 years old already back then, and we bought it for $1,000, and it took us all the way to the other side. I mean, the East Coast and down to Florida, and then we went all the way back again to California, the northern route.
Man, that's cool.
one of these points we passed Memphis for a couple of days, I think.
That's really awesome. Good for you.
I shouldn't have read the book On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Have you read it?
Yes. Yeah. And it's inspiring. It really is. That'll make you want to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's great. So tell me this then. I guess you got the interview 101 document that kind of walks you through the questions we ask and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's very tricky, very hard questions to answer.
we try to make it hard. It's a pass-fail thing, so I hope you do well. No, just kidding.
I need it.
No, you're going to do great. So tell me how to pronounce your name so I get that right when we start up here, and then I'll let you talk a little about yourself after I kind of give you a bit of an intro.
In Swedish, it would be Mattias.
Okay, Mattias.
But in English, Mattias. But some people call me Mattias, but I prefer Mattias.
Mattias. Okay. Yeah, sounds great. Mattias is Mattias and Mattias would be my guesses, but Mattias is how you'd say it in Swedish.
Yeah, Swedish is really hard to learn.
And your last name? Pronounce your last name.
I got two actually, but Thambert or Thambert is my preferred last name.
Okay.
Or I have two. The other one is Albert.
Really? You have two? Why do you have two?
Well, when my parents got divorced, I took both of their last names.
That's cool. That way you didn't have to go up either one of them. Huh. That's great.
Sorry, again, please?
That way you didn't have to go up either one of them. That's great.
Right. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, what we do, Mattias, is that the way you prefer it pronounced then?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to make sure we get this interview the way you want it. So once I introduce you, we just roll it, and we really hardly ever edit anything unless there's just some really bad quality audio, or unless a guest asks us to hey, can you cut that? I shouldn't have said that, whatever. But you can say anything you want. There's really no holdback on any discussion, any content, any topic. There's no bad words that you can't say. I mean, it doesn't matter. Half of our episodes are explicit, half of them are not. It just depends on what the guest says. So you can make it your own story. But we ask these questions about hope, like your definition of hope and who shared hope with you. And then question 3 usually gets in a little deeper of, hey, what's going on in your life, or what's going on that makes you really have to reach in there and use hope to pull through. And you can go anywhere you want with that. You can tell 10 stories, one story. You could talk about your cancer. You could talk about something 5 years ago. Again, it's completely up to you. This has really come out of a research project that I'm doing. Came from a very abusive background and lots of depression, anxiety, suicidal stuff, and just kind of reconnecting my heart and trying to figure out hope. I'm truly still on that process. So long story short, I'm doing a research project. I'm interviewing 1,000 people, trying to get as accurate a cross section of the world's population as possible, and asking them these 5 questions. And it sort of turned into a podcast kind of organically. That wasn't the original intent.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, man, I really appreciate you being willing to share your story, because I learn a lot each time I do this. Just okay, how does somebody use hope, and is it real? Are they really doing this? Or so be yourself, man. Just be real, and we'll go after it. And you can be funny or sad, or it doesn't matter. You just do your thing. I just appreciate your time.
I'll try my part.
Okay.
Do I get to hear it before it's broadcasted, or?
Yeah, if you'd like to, sure. I don't care.
I'd love to.
Yeah. So, in fact, I can. I have the audio file, like recording. I can send it to you raw before you even edit it, or I can send you the edited version. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We do have a lot of traffic on our own site. So if I'm not saying too many stupid things during the interview, we could point a lot of listeners to you, I think.
Okay, cool. That's great. That really is great. Okay, so all All right, now say your first and last name one more time so I can just get it in my memory so I pop it out just right. Just first and last.
Mattias Thambert in English.
Great. Mattias Thambert. Does that sound right?
Thambert.
Thambert with a TH. That's right. Sorry about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mattias Thambert. Awesome. Okay, well, let's do this. So, Mattias Thambert, you are in Sweden, I think.
Sorry, with Thambert. With a T at the end. That's okay.
Thambert.
Just say
Thambert.
Mattias.
No, I'm good.
That's more than enough.
We'll cut that
I
out.
don't
That's
want
good.
to have my dad feel bad because I don't want to use his last name. You can say Mattias. More than
How about
just cut that out.
How about Mattias
My dad.
Thambert?
Just
a Mattias.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, his name is Albert, and it's too long to use both of them. So I tried if you could just use Mattias, that's more than
You got
good
it.
enough.
You got it. Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. All right, Mattias from Sweden. Thanks for your time. So it's I think a little after 4 o'clock your time in Sweden, sitting there at work. I hope your boss doesn't look over your shoulder and see the screen.
I'm finally the boss myself at my work.
Man, tell us where you are, like in Sweden, and what are you doing today, and kind of what's going on around your life, and then we'll get more into your story and what you're doing on a larger scale later.
As of right now, I'm in pretty much central Stockholm, which is the capital of Sweden in Northern Europe, in one of our stores where we sell things that was saved from the dump, pretty much. And I'm on the second floor looking out through a window. You can see both floors. There's 2 floors that I can see at the moment, and there's a lot of people and a lot of traffic passing by, and I can see some of the people working down there. There's, I think, loads of customers buying these things instead of going and buying new things made of virgin resources. We sell trash pretty much, which has been fixed up.
I love it. So you kind of got this thing going, right? You started, right?
Yeah, maybe someone was before me, but I've been doing this for more than 20 years.
Wow. So you go out literally and collect trash off the curb or out of the dumpster. People will drop it off at your shop, whatever, and you rehab it and sell it, right?
Yeah, that's how it started. But now it's come to the point where the local government permits us to come into these recycling stations where thousands of people go and throw large items away. So we have our own containers at different dumps, and they get to put it in there instead of just throwing it on the trash mountain or burning it up.
That's so cool.
We go. Yeah, we really want to spread it. I dreamt of America. I'm going there one day for this as well.
Well, we generate a lot of trash, and you know, a lot of it really is pretty good stuff. Actually, my wife and I found some killer deals just literally driving down the street on trash day, just on the way home. And we're like, oh my goodness, look at that chair, look at that table, and we just take it home and refurbish it. But man, doing that on a grand scale is really cool. Wow. Yeah,
the dream would be to do it industrial and really not be the little David against the Goliath anymore. We want to be part of becoming a new industry.
Huh.
Really, that's the goal.
That's great. How many people do you have working over there, or volunteering either way?
Not many at the moment. We're like 25, maybe full time. But then there's hundreds of people around this network. But the past year, it really took off. So now we're spreading. It's like a little avalanche that's just getting started.
Yeah.
It's like 3-4 rock just started moving, and we got a franchise concept ready to roll out. So everything is ready to just really, really start growing.
That's all. Hey, 25 people is nothing to laugh at, man. That's a legit company. It really is. And then all the people you have in the community that are pitching in, that's really cool. Man, okay, so let's do this. I want to know from your perspective, so you're a lot more than just the guy who's transforming trash into treasures. You're doing a lot in your own heart, in your own life, around your community. There's so much you've got your hands into. So answer the 5 questions here. I want to fire away, and you give it your own spin. This isn't about me, it's about you. Sound good?
Yeah, sure. I tried to prepare, but it was really, really hard. But you want one favorite quote, but I found 3. I don't know. Is that too much?
Oh no, man! I want them all. So okay, so let's question number 1 then, for people who are new and listening. What is your favorite quote about hope, or your belief about hope, or however you would define the word hope? And you just take it away, man.
Yeah, I started off as a musician, and I played this tune. It's by John Lennon. I think it's called Imagine. And it says, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one."
I love that song. I actually listened to that song again recently. I don't know what made me find it, but man, that's a good line. It really is, and that's the line that caught my attention too. Good one. Give me 2 more. You say you have 3. That's great.
Yeah. The other ones, I'm not sure. I can't tell. I can't say too much about the people who wrote them. But one of them goes, "It's amazing how much a little tomorrow can make up for a whole lot of yesterday."
That is the essence of hope right there. Just thinking ahead and being willing to let your hopes go forward.
Yeah, and the last one goes, "In a time of destruction, create something."
That should be on the wall in your business.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good quote. In a time of destruction, create something. Man, that's great. You know, for me, that really is true. And I've talked to so many other people about hope, and it's like the action of doing something really helps get over the hard thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, any one of those quotes, that kind of, those are all really different quotes, but really on track with hope. But tell me about somebody in your life, or more than one person if you want to, but tell me about somebody back there who's really giving you hope. Like the quotes you just said. Who's giving you hope like that?
Yeah, there's so many people, and even pets. I had pets all through my life, and we just lost an older dog. So, and we have one still alive.
That's sad.
But and there's so many people that really gave me hope, and it would feel bad to just mention one of them, but I've been so close to I should say die, because really I went through, even just the past year, I went through one of the most serious forms of cancer treatments there is. So instead of mentioning all these people and animals, I would say that there is some kind of force, like Luke Skywalker, Star Trek. There's a force, I think, somewhere that picks me up when it's really, really, really dark, and or God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Take your time.
There is hope.
Yeah, there is. So you've just come through a really tough time with cancer, and I don't think I've seen that anywhere on your social media or websites or anything public. Are you? Who knows about this?
And my wife and my family, and now you. So and our staff, the people beside me. There's people on the other floor, and maybe someone beside me, a little further away. But except from that, no one knows about it, and it's not a secret, not at all. It's just I'm just getting my hair back. I lost every hair on my body. I'm just starting to get it back. I got like very, very short hair everywhere now.
Well, that's great. I'm glad it's coming back. I really am.
Nice. Yeah, me too. Finally.
Yeah, no kidding. So when did you find out that you had cancer? How'd you find out?
It was a little over a year ago, and I found these little bumps in I don't know what it's called in English, between my upper leg and my stomach. There's a little place where you can find lumps, little on my neck. And I went to the doctor, and she just immediately sent me to this place where they put a needle and took a test out of one of these things, and they said that, well, we're going to send you to another place where they will take one of these out in an operation, and they did, and this anesthetic didn't really work. So it was a nightmare. And I was awake throughout that, and then I had to wait for a month, 2 months, and I think after some more tests, they just told me straight out that you have to go through this stem cell transplant thing, and it will be really, really tough. It's the toughest thing we have here, pretty much. And we don't know how long you have or how you will react to this, but we think we can get the cancer out, and I hope they have. Next week I'll get an extra X-ray, and they'll give me more information.
Wow! So they literally have to kill all the cells in there, right, and then put in fresh new ones. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, in my case, they had to take the whole immune system away. Every single white blood cell, had to kill all of them, and also my spinal cord, all the cells that produces blood, and this this thing that caused the cancer, and that's what they did.
Wow, that's about as close to death as you can get, without them pushing you right over the edge, you know? Man. So question 3 is, tell us about a time that is in your past that is really, or your present, that's really required hope to get through. And I mean, honestly, man, we contacted you thinking, hey, this guy's got this awesome vision for recycling and recreating old things that there's a lot of symbolism there, and just how you take something that's in a sense been thrown out to the trash, like some people feel like they have been, and you're bringing it back to life and putting new life and love into a thing. But man, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. This is a conversation about cancer too. So
that's not it. I had more hardships, both business wise, because this vision about changing the way we do business, and changing the way we destroy nature into doing something that really works long term. I've done this for so long, so I was pretty much, it was just me and a few others that did this 20 years ago. I'm 42 now. So I was almost they almost thought I was crazy when I was talking about these visions so many years ago. Now everyone knows that that we have to do something, basically, to survive.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and you were way ahead of the game there. You really were. So yeah, tell me the other things you had prepared for the interview, because I want to know what you were going to talk about. Not really appreciate you sharing what's going on now. I really do. That's pretty open and brave. But I really want to hear what you prepared earlier, because it's the stuff that's on your heart.
Yeah. I wrote a lot of stuff, but I don't want to read straight off of my notes. It's so boring.
It's not boring. It's just talk it out, man. Real stories are what really connect to me. I sure learn more when people are honest and open. So just talk. You're good.
Okay. I'll just read some of the stuff I wrote.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the past year, I seriously thought I was gonna die, and facing that at my age is very inhumane. And at some points, I almost had to lose hope in order to really find it. Even in and after death, there is hope. I'm going all the way here, man. I think there's hope all the way. I guess the lesson for me has been to learn to see hope always, and to learn not to fear anything. Fear puts me back. I've had a sign on the wall in my bedroom saying, "What would you do today if you had nothing to fear?" Back in the 90s, when I lived abroad, including California, I learned that I will never succeed without persistence. I have now realized that it takes a stupendous amount of this to succeed. Especially when trying not to compete in business, but to do things in a whole new way. I was even considered crazy for saying what I wanted to do before it existed. So I'm kind of repeating myself here, but that's what I wrote. And then I wrote, basically what we do at Refurn is saving discarded furniture and items from dumps and giving them a new life. At the moment, we have 3 physical stores beside the web and about 4,000 square meters of storage. I'm sorry, I can't translate it into your... what's meters in English?
It's a little more yards. We would use yards, square yards. That's it's going to come out as more than 4,000 square yards. That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how many football fields it is, but it's a lot of furniture. And we already sold or rescued hundreds of thousands of furniture just the past 5 years. We're finally growing like an avalanche. The plan for this was to be global long ago, but now it really seems to be happening. We have a social vision, and about half our staff has some form of handicap, and some even work on a volunteer basis. Our aim is for the people of the world to start restoring old things instead of buying new. I feel like we are David against Goliath, where Goliath is the industry that makes zillions of things from virgin natural resources. Refurn competes with giants. At this point, most people has already realized that we have to do something, and that there is a limit to how much we can exploit nature. Most people simply feel good getting their hands dirty with Refurn. Yeah, that's what I wrote.
That's really powerful, man. There's like, I'm glad I'm recording this because there's so many just killer quotes in there, and inspiring stuff. I love your comment about not wanting to compete in business, but do something completely new and different. That's really brave and scary too, I guess, because there's no track that you can follow to know you're going to make the bills the next day,
I have a good wife. She likes numbers. I wouldn't do this without her.
That's great. And the fact that you said half of your staff has some sort of disability, whatever you want to call an issue that's considered not normal. for the general population. Is that because you've intentionally sought out people who were looking for an opportunity they might not fit into another job, or is it just the way it happens and people just kind of rally around your cause?
Well, there. I think I come from. I don't know enough about you, but I went through other hardships than the cancer. Cancer is just what happened the past year.
Mm-hmm.
I went through some serious burnouts, and I don't want to go too deep into that, but I went through some serious stuff, and I came out of it, and I decided that I want to help others with handicaps, physical or mental. I don't care. I want to help other people get back on track and give people another chance. That's just one part of it. I really want to do this from my heart, the social part. The other part is that saving things from the dump, there's no economy in doing that. If it takes like 3 hours to fix an old chair, and you can sell it for $5. So there's no way to live off of this unless something is changed. It takes a lot of job opportunities to do this, but so to find volunteers or to find people where government can pay part of the salary, the economy is one thing, but there is a genuine desire to help. And a lot of people that works with us started off when they were sick or getting by with benefits from the government, but today they're employed.
Wow.
And,
man, that's so great. You've given real people a real opportunity, and they're not employed doing something that's I'm going to say this the way I'm trying to think it. If it doesn't come out right, sorry. That you're not giving them something to do that's, oh, it's not important, or, oh, it's not a really serious job, maybe they could do it. No, it's like, no, this is for real. It's a real job. There's real purpose, and there's real good and bad consequences for how the work goes. And that's what we need, you know? People just need to have something that they're doing that matters. That's really cool.
In one single day, I think we could from one single dump in this little country with only 10 million people, there's hundreds of dumps here, but I think we could employ almost everyone in the whole country just from the trash. There's so much to fix. There's so many broken items that take so long time that we could take away the unemployment, I think, but we have to find a way to make it work financially. There's so much to do, really.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Wouldn't that be cool if your country became an exporter of really, coveted and cherished restored items? Like the company Restoration Hardware, all that stuff. I don't think it's old. I think it's all new, right? So they didn't restore it, but it looks like it's restored. People love that. Look, people love old things. I mean, we love estate sales and garage sales. That's a really great way to employ versus just somebody putting their stuff out, selling it for $0.25 on the street. Huh.
I really think we could compete with if we get a chance, we could compete with the industry that makes new items, even with just the local trash.
Interesting.
Everywhere. But if we want to ship things across the globe, I think we should use the wind, sail it over.
Oh, that's fun. Awesome. Wow. Are you a sailor? Have you ever had any experience doing that? Or I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, a little bit, but I never sailed across the Atlantic.
Hey man,
Did you?
There's a first time for everything. You need to pack up a boat with all your stuff and bring it over.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. if you can find us some franchisees or people who want to try this and come and learn for a few months and then get over there and start it up. We need people, more people doing this.
You said in a second we're gonna just go ahead and tell me website, social media right now. Where can people contact you if they're hearing this and saying that's an idea I want to chase down a little bit? Where can they find you?
Unfortunately, we don't have much. We have like everything that comes in, all the things. We photograph it and we put it on our website. It's the name of the company is Refurn. Like reuse furniture or reinvent the furniture industry or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Refurn.se. There you could go to refurn.com, I think, but we have to translate everything. So if you want to speak English, you should send me an email, like straight to me, and that would be Mattias or Mattias. It's spelled Mattias at refurn.se.
That's Mattias at refurn.se.
That's right.
Great.
I think it will come to the right address if you end it with .com as well, because it's pointed to my address.
Okay. Well, maybe we should carbon copy the other version, the .com, so we can make sure one of them gets to you. So you mentioned a second ago that you really believe that there is hope and there really is a way to hope from whatever situation you're in. That was towards the beginning of the stuff you were reading that you'd already prepared. Why are you so sure of that? Because honestly, man, I get to places where I'm not sure. Just this past week, I questioned it all over again. I don't know if it's real. But anyway, what's got you anchored down there?
Facing death.
Okay.
There's even hope there. There's hope all the way. There's nothing to worry about. I paid such a hard price you wouldn't imagine. I'm writing a book right now. It's almost finished. I want to try and translate it sooner or later. But I went through so many things, except the things that I told you the past half hour, whatever. And I think a lot of the price is because of this vision about what we're doing business. I mean, the thing, Refurn. There's so many things, so many times that I almost gave up when facing bankruptcy or almost facing bankruptcy for many years, and like working without any form of pay, just a lot of owed a lot of money to the bank and to my family, and everything was just really not going my way, and because I didn't give up, or because I didn't lose hope, it finally took off. It's working now. We're growing fast, and I think this is a very small part of actually helping us out of the mess we're in, because it is a mess.
Yeah, as a global community, you're saying the mess. Yeah.
Yeah, ecologically.
Yeah. Great. So, thank you. I don't have a response. I'm soaking it up. Hope comes and goes for me. That's why I'm doing this. And I don't know. It's one of those things you can't just read the definition in the dictionary and read the scientific journal about hope and nailed down. It's so specific to each person, and it's so real, but it's so different for everybody. All right, so question 4. How are you sharing hope with others today? Obviously, Refurn is doing an enormous amount to inspire people around the world who are seeing you do what you do, and inspire your staff and your community, your volunteers, for a more hopeful planet and work environment and things like that. How do you, as a person, share hope on a regular basis when you're just saying hi to somebody in the hallway at work, or you're on your way home, or you're sitting at the dinner table at home? How do you share hope with somebody?
I lost many cells, including brain cells, so I happened to read that answer out before, so I have to add something to what I read.
No, you were giving good examples before. You really were. Just restate them there if you want to. I just want to make sure we hear it for what it is. I want to make sure people know, okay, this is how you do it.
I think we kind of made a template for how to do things and how to make things work, both socially and financially. And at present, I don't do as much as I wish I did, because I'm still coming back from this ordeal. But people that work with us, I think, are doing that towards each other. And my feeling when I step into one of our shops or warehouses or dumps or the whole thing that's going on here, I really feel that people are treating each other in a very respectful way, and feel that they're doing something more than just working in an antique store or just another up and coming franchise company. I think hope has started to be shared by itself, in a sense. I feel very good about having gone through the challenge of facing the old way of doing things, which was necessary for what's going on here right now to be.
You're right. Awesome. Good answer. Question 5. Simple steps, the ABCs. How do I begin to grow in hope as a person, or how do I start sharing hope today? What do I do next? I walk away from this conversation. What next?
I didn't write an answer to this question. It was so hard for me. May I ask you, of all the people that you interviewed, which is the answer to this question that you remember the most? Maybe I can fetch some inspiration from that.
Be kind. Be kind is what sticks in my mind the most. A lot of guests say, be kind. Smile to someone, help them carry their groceries to their door. Take them a little something if they're having a down day. Pick up a cup of coffee from the diner down the street on your way to work and just give it to a coworker, just because. They just say, be kind. And I think that's probably what impacts me the most. I'm sure it is. Sorry. I don't usually get emotional on these things, but that's what impacts me the most, is when people are kind to me. It makes me feel special, and like I am a person of value. It doesn't matter how much money I generate, or how much volunteer hours I put into the community, or how many how the kids in my home are getting educated. What makes me feel valuable is when someone's kind to me and treats me like something of value, and that gives me hope that maybe there's more to me than just the good or bad feelings of the day.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. I agree on all of it, and to me, I think it's become almost second nature. I just wish there were more of us.
You know, I think there's probably more of us that are kind of stuck, that maybe don't know how to be kind because they feel so beat down. You know, it's funny when somebody just does something kind to you, you get a little inspired to return the smile, or buy them a cup of coffee the next day, or you know, just be a little nicer to your kids when you get home. You know what I'm saying? It's it relieves some stress and gets you a little bit back on track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you've been extremely kind in giving us your time on a day, 4 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon almost now, when you've got a company to run and a lot of things to get done, and you know, you got that whole cancer recovery thing to do. That takes a lot of time and effort. You're doing a lot, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time and saying yes. Honestly, if I had known you were recovering from something that tough, I figured you'd say, no, it's going to be a little while. But wow, what a fresh, real story. And as a fellow businessman who runs my own company, it's inspiring. You know, we've been through those days of, you know, near bankruptcy and no money coming in the house because you got to pay the staff first, and all those things that happen when you're starting a business, and sometimes when you're starting a business for a long time. And man, that's you give me a lot of perspective today. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much for contacting me. I'm honored to be on your show.
Oh, I'm honored to have you. Okay, so just one more time, it is www.refurn.se or .com. That's refurn.se or .com, and the email, if you want to contact Mattias, is MATTIAS at refurn.se or .com. So, man, let me just pull aside here for a second, and this part of our interview won't be part of the podcast. We start each podcast with some clip of the interview that's really powerful and says kind of communicates the heart of what's coming in the interview, and then that's for like 30 seconds or something like that, and then we let the guests say their name and I share hope. So, you know, you'd hear some comments from you, and then I'm Mattias and I share hope, or I'm Mattias, the founder of Refurn, and I share hope, or however you'd want to introduce yourself, but just your name and I share hope need to be in there somewhere. So I'm going to mute my mic and let you just give it a round or two and see if you say something you like that we can put with your name and I share hope at the beginning. You got, question?
Just should I just I'll just start off by just saying that, but do you want me to say something else, or
you know, some guests just say their name and I'm Chris Williams and I share hope. Some people say their name, like I'm Chris Williams, a social entrepreneur, or I'm Chris Williams, a host of the podcast, and I share hope. Some people put a little something about themselves in between their name and I share hope. Some people just say it plain. That's up to you.
All right. Okay. I got it. My name is Mattias. I'm the founder of Refurn, and I share hope.
That's great. That's really great. Do one more time, just in case every now and then audio files get mixed up or weird, and we don't want to miss this one at all. So do it one more time for me.
My name is Mattias, the founder of Refurn, and I share hope.
Brilliant. Perfect. Okay, so can I ask you a couple of random questions that have nothing to do with the interview, really? I'm curious.
Sure.
Okay. So what was your first piece of furniture? Like long time ago, you drive by a dump or somebody's trash pile and you pick something up and you recreate it. What was the first one?
An old chair made out of sticks.
Do you still have it?
I think my mother might have it.
Oh man, that's really cool. You need to take a picture of that one. That's great. All right, and who was the first person to join your cause with you and say, "Hey, I want to do that with you," or volunteer, join the company, whatever? Who jumped in and said, "I'll help out"?
An English guy, Adam Smith. Yeah.
That's great. Did he just see you doing it one day, like refurbing furniture, or did he see you on the side of the road picking up some trash, or how did he see you?
I think we had a mutual friend, and I just told him what I did, and he said, I'm a furniture restorer from England, and I'd like to help out.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. Okay, what do I say to somebody? I've never had cancer, and believe it or not, nobody in my immediate family that I know of has had cancer, which is pretty rare, honestly, because most people have somebody in their family. So I don't have a lot of experience with meeting someone who's dealing with cancer and saying, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry," or "Can I help you?" Or how do you reach out to somebody like you who's recovering from that and not make them feel like an oddball, but let them know you're human and want to be part of their world, or just to say you support them?
If someone had cancer, and like one of the more serious kinds that I had, and I met this person just face to face, I would say that I went through so much fear, and really looking back at it now, there was really nothing to fear, no matter what, and even pain, because I went through some serious physical pain. I really don't fear it. There is nothing to fear. There's so much to help you with the pain also. So it's just a waste. It's just a waste of energy to fear. So please don't fear.
It's a good way to say that. Last question, or next last question. So your wife, huge supporter of yours, I'm sure. Obviously you're a huge supporter of hers too. You've said some kind things about it already. How does a neighbor or a friend support your family? What would be helpful? Reaching out to you. People don't know what to do. Do you bring food to somebody who's sick and got a family? Do you see if you can help give them a ride? I mean, how do you help? How does somebody help you? And I don't mean just helping you. I mean just anybody.
Thing.
Yeah.
Helping me or me helping somebody else?
I'm saying you being the example. How does somebody reach out to someone who's got a family member with cancer and say, "How can I help your family? Like, how can I help a family who's dealing with that in their home?" Oh,
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me think about a good answer here. Just ask them. Don't just. I think sometimes it's very good just to do something when the people are that they're not expecting, but have the guts to approach the person and ask them genuinely, not just doing it. I mean, genuinely ask them, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? And really mean it, and be willing to do it. Be honest, and really go all the way and really do what they need. Help them with what they need, even if it's something really big. That's just really tough. Go the extra mile.
That's perfect. perfect answer. That's a really practical answer for me. Thank you. Just ask. Awesome. Don't feel awkward about it. Just ask. Okay. And then last question then. Favorite song, favorite artist, favorite track. If you want to rock out to something that makes you feel happy, makes you smile or laugh, dance, whatever, what's it going to be?
Whoa, there's so many. I'm an old Dylan fan, and also I wrote a lot of songs myself. But
you wrote a lot of songs yourself?
I wrote a lot of songs myself, more than 100 tunes.
No way.
And I played bars and stuff. Yeah, that's how I started out.
Are you? Wow. Did you tour? Like, were you in a band, doing stuff?
Mainly, I was just troubadouring.
Yeah.
That's what I did in America as well.
Cool.
Also, I played on streets and stuff, but bars, restaurants, universities, stuff like that.
Awesome.
And it's really hard to pick a tune or a line, but I like Blowing in the Wind.
Mm-hmm. Blowing in the Wind. Good one.
Yeah, Dylan.
He's a unique artist that has impacted, like, everybody talks, not our guest here, but you see these interviews of these super famous musicians, and it seems like everybody mentions Dylan somewhere in an interview. He's just impacted so many people in the music.
Yeah, he sings out of key, I think, sometimes, but he really makes some good lyrics.
Yeah, he does. He's the thoughtful writer. He is brilliant at writing. Awesome. Dylan, Blowing in the Wind. That is your answer, man. All right. Thank you again. I really appreciate your time. Can't thank you enough for the encouragement and the really, really practical steps and thoughts about taking hope and being really actionable about that.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm gonna hit the website right now because I want to see some more of these pics. There's some really cool stuff you've rebirthed, I guess is a good way to say it.
Yeah, there's thousands.
Yeah, there is. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
You too. Bye now.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the Top 10 Actions of Hope from World Leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Not much. Just hanging out at work.
So what time is it?
What about you? Look, it's 4 p.m. Swedish time.
Okay, cool. At work. So do they care if you're like talking to not work people?
No, it's no worries.
Okay.
No worries.
Great, man. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
So you just said cancer. I honestly didn't know that.
No, I didn't write it anywhere. You're the first person that knows about it.
Well, we won't mention that at all. So
that's okay. I'm open with it.
Are you okay?
I was just admitted from the hospital about 3 weeks, a little over a month ago, after a stem cell transplant.
No way. So what do you have then?
Mantle cell lymphoma.
Lymphoma, yeah.
Yikes. But yeah, the treatment is finished, so I hope I'm allowed to recover now.
I had a friend and a past boss who had that, and man, the treatment sounded painful as anything.
Yeah, nightmare, pretty much.
Wow, and you're like, no, just kidding.
I need it.
No, you're going to do great. So tell me how to pronounce your name so I get that right when we start up here, and then I'll let you talk a little about yourself after I kind of give you a bit of an intro.
In Swedish, it would be Mattias.
Okay, Mattias.
But in English, Mattias. But some people call me Mattias, but I prefer Mattias.
Mattias. Okay. Yeah, sounds great. Mattias and Mattias would be my guesses, but Mattias is how you'd say it in Swedish?
Yeah, Swedish is really hard to learn.
And your last name? Pronounce your last name.
I got two, actually, but Thambert or Thambert is my
Thambert.
preferred last name.
Okay.
Or I have two. The other one is Albert's.
Really? You have two? Why do you have two?
Well, when my parents got divorced, I took both of their last names.
That's cool. That way you didn't have to go up either one of them. Huh. That's great.
Sorry, again, please?
That way you didn't have to go up either one of them. That's great.
Right, yeah.
Very cool. Well, what we do, Mattias, is that the way you prefer it pronounced then?
15 years ago when I traveled across the States twice in my old Cadillac 65 Coupe de Ville.
That's so cool. That's awesome. So do you just show up in the U.S., buy a Cadillac, and then take the tour and then go back home? Is that what you did?
I went there. I was working as a musician at the time, and started off in San Diego, and that's where I decided to stay for a while. And me and a friend just bought an old Cadillac. It was 30 years old already back then, and we bought it for $1,000, and it took us all the way to the other side. I mean, the East Coast and down to Florida, and then we went all the way back again to California, the northern route.
Man, that's cool.
One of these points, we passed Memphis for a couple of days, I think.
That's really awesome. Good for you.
I shouldn't have read the book On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Have you read it?
Yes. Yeah. And it's inspiring. It really is. That'll make you want to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's great. So tell me this then. I guess you got the interview 101 document that kind of walks you through the questions we ask and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's very tricky, very hard questions to answer.
we try to make it hard. It's a pass-fail thing, so I hope you do well. So you're awake for the deal, right? I mean, do they drill into your bone? Do you have to be awake for that, or?
Yeah, but they gave me a lot of medicines to kind of not be in too much pain and not too much anxiety, because it was really tough.
Yeah, I bet. So how are you feeling now? Like, are you worn out today, or is this like are you feeling okay?
I'm okay. I feel much better than the doctor says that I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to be like sick for at least 4 or 5 months, but I'm at work. I'm working almost full time already.
Wow, that's great. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks really. Where are you at? I don't know too much.
Yeah, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. It's kind of central U.S. I don't know if you've been to the U.S. before.
I traveled across it twice.
Oh, really? So, so Tennessee is kind of smack in the middle, maybe towards the lower southeast, if you're going to put it in one quadrant. But
I've been there. Is it close to Elvis' house?
I am probably 15 minutes from Elvis's house right now.
Wow, wonderful. I've been there.
That's great. Oh man, when was that?
Oh, that must have been sometimes even the past year. I seriously thought I was gonna die, and facing that at my age was very inhumane. And at some points, I almost had to lose hope in order to really find it. Even in and after death, there is hope. I'm going all the way here, man. I think there's hope all the way. I guess the lesson for me has been to learn to see hope always, and to learn not to fear anything. Fear puts me back. Back in the 90s, when I lived abroad, including California, I learned that I will never succeed without persistence. I have now realized that it takes a stupendous amount of this to succeed. My name is Mattias, the founder of Refurn, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hello?
Hey man, what's up?